What is up, entrepreneurs? Welcome. It is not the Friday Live Helpcast. If you are used to being around these parts, today we're all about the Being a Creator series. This series is something that more or less is a passion project that started 11 weeks ago. 11 weeks ago to the day. And I could not be more excited. So excited, in fact. I just remembered a little chapstick. Okay. We ain't about scraping up wind muffs out here in these streets. All right. Keep you some on the desk. It saves lives. But 11 weeks ago, we started the Being a Creator series, and there's a lot of different kind of video content that I could have done. Obviously, we have regular videos, stuff that's coming out on the ZVE10, constantly testing and checking that. And I wanted to do a Q&A. It seemed only fitting because I think so much of watching the Being a Creator series is awesome. But what about your creative process? Is it really helping you? Every single week, when you go over to thecreator.guide, go to thecreator.guide. If there's any moderators in chat so far, usually for our Friday live streams, they're usually here, but I will make sure we get that added as well. But every time you go over to that website, when you click on download the guide, it's going to give you the latest guide for the week over on thecreator.guide. You see how we're doing here? Thecreator.guide. Let's go ahead and pull this up. You get access to notes, things that I'm pulling from each session to really break down the process a little bit more, to give you some more details around what's going on in the process. What are some things behind the scenes? Help you to not only just think about like, oh, that was cool, but like really think, does that help me any? You know what I mean? So this series is sponsored by Ecamm Live, the incredible folks over at Ecamm. As you all know, that's what we use to host any of our streams, do a lot of trainings and videos somewhere thereabout. Last week, we also had the Leap in a Live Stream live event, which was absolutely fantastic. And I was very pleased, very, very pleased with how well that it went, and just pumped and excited. And so I believe it's ecamm.tv/replay that you can get access to any of those replay sessions from the event just for $10. Like, it's insane. I think they said something that's over 79 hours worth of training videos, including panels. So it's insane. We head over to thecreator.guide. You have the Being a Creator page, and then also put the wrong live stream there for this week, I think, but sponsored by Ecamm. But you download the Creator Guide that's over there, and then you can catch up on any previous or missed episodes in the series, as well as these live on YouTube as well. So let's hop over to the chat, say hello to the fam. What is going on, Keely? Saying, is this what happens when you wake up before 8 a.m.? You catch a DG live stream? Cool. Well, we usually don't, but I thought it would be interesting, for like the 12th episode still will come out, or technically, I guess maybe 13 at this point, but I just felt like it would be right to do a creator live stream this time. So, pumped for it. So you gotta love technical difficulties. Yeah. Part of the process. So it's saying I try not to get all about the cool things, but that sound oscillator thing on the countdown is all that. Well, I appreciate it. I will definitely say it's one of my favorite elements of a live stream that I do if I use a countdown timer. I just always like those. I don't know, maybe it was like, could have been, 8 years ago for who all knows what. And then you just start seeing a bunch of those kind of pop up with the background music or whatever channels that all they did was like whoever made the music promote their music, and they would always use some of those. And I remember like the older Windows PC machines would kind of come built with that. So that's my ode to my PC days. So I always loved and enjoyed those. If you guys have questions about not just the Being a Creator series or what have you, but just like your creative process, where are you feeling stuck? I wanted to be able to come in and provide some value this morning. I know it's very early for some of you. For some of us, it's starting to get towards mid-morning-ish. If you work, maybe you already have been up for so many hours and such, and depending on what time zone you're in, who knows what the hell. Okay, that's one thing I hate is the time zones. Do you have questions about your creative process? Where are you stuck? And it's a couple of things that I want to dive into that I think that I can help out with some of y'all's process. We have graphics tutorials saying good afternoon. See, it's already afternoon where some of y'all are at. Good morning. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. We also have Tony in the building saying, wasn't expecting to be here, but here I am. Good morning, afternoon, and evening. As to you, my good sir. Obs in the building. Good to see you. Simply Obs saying it's amazing value. I'm glad that you are getting a tremendous amount of value out of the Being a Creator series. It definitely is something that I wanted to do for a while. And thankfully this was the year to do it. And so I look forward to seeing how things progress over time. Just with the series, again, like I said, it started just like 11 weeks ago. And so it's been awesome. Definitely my goal, honestly, is I want to get to where it's not maybe just once a week, but that depends on the regular posting schedule, because it's easy for something like that to take over. But maybe twice a week or something like that. I don't know, maybe a bloopers or something. Who knows? I'm very curious, needless to say, about some of the things. It's only so many days. Like literally, for as many video ideas as I have, sometimes I have to remember, like, there's literally only 7 days, and maybe they just didn't see the last one that you posted yesterday. So maybe give, I don't know, a day or something in between. But I don't doubt at some point content on here will go for a season. I'll put it that way, at least for a season, up to 7 days a week. We'll just have to see what is going on. Dr. Elo, student over at Mastering Micro. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Candy Toy Box, good to see you. Good morning. Saying hello from NYC. Good morning. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. So a couple things when it comes to like being a content creator. One of the things that I think is extremely important is going to be your workflow. So often it's easy to just be doing things, just to be buying stuff, see what else is coming out. Like we saw the embargo lift for the iPhone 13. If you follow any kind of tech creators, or that's something that you're interested in, even if you're not an iPhone person, maybe you're interested in some of the specs to see maybe what some of the other brands, especially like Samsung or whatever, may bring, or Xiaomi, or however you pronounce some of these other names, Huawei. I think that's how you pronounce their name. They make some incredible smartphones, as well as with the Google Pixel 6, I think, that came out recently. So a lot of cool stuff. So if you follow any of the tech people, then you saw the embargo lifted this morning for the iPhone 13, mini, regular, and the Max. I think Pro Max. I don't know. They squeezing it at this point. Like, we'll give you cereal with milk, cereal with a spoon with milk, cereal with milk and no spoon. It's like, I don't know. That's just me. Anyway, so I think one of the biggest things with the process of creating content is that you don't have one most of the time when you're first getting started. And I see that a lot. Coaching clients, when I'm talking to people in the DMs over on Instagram or LinkedIn for that matter, even for an entrepreneur, especially if you have a business already, you know and have figured out how you want your business to run, but you have no idea how you need to feed in the content. You have no idea how a process, more or less, like thinking that you're like, well, I can just do it on this day. That's great. You pick a date and time for the when you can do it. The how you do your content is going to be extremely important. If you don't have a process, you have to create one. And if you need to create one, that's something I definitely want to open up discussion for this morning, because otherwise the stuff that you buy won't make sense. The stuff that you do already have that you're trying to make use of because you already spent your money on it, quote unquote, and you're like, well, I'm gonna find a reason to keep it. That's not logical when you're trying to become a creator, when you're in the process of becoming a creator. It's just not logical. I'm going to use it because I already have it. I get the initial logic, or even how that works as a regular adult. But your creative process very much so is in how you post, how often you post, the consistency in the quality of the content, if you will. If I don't know if you've ever followed anybody for any length of time, like across YouTube or whatever, your favorite creator, pick any name. and you notice maybe for a season, it's like, yeah, they uploaded something, or it's just like, but it's not that usual enter their name pizzazz. It just didn't have that essence. It was something, but it was like you walked away still feeling kind of, you know what I'm saying? Kind of a deal. And so I think that, granted, you're not always going to hit at a 10, but you at least want to swing for the fence, right? And so when you're thinking about the what you buy and what you use, like from an audio, lighting, and video perspective, it very much so is always going to be in that order. And then look at not just making sure you fill in those gaps to say you have audio, video, and lighting, but to make sure that the stuff that you have or are trying to use makes sense. If I was trying to travel a lot and you know what I'm saying? Let's just say travel a lot. Let's say travel vlogger was the thing. And I'm thinking about my content process or my business requires that I travel. Maybe you got multiple sites, or maybe you're the logistics person in your company and you're documenting the behind the scenes, blah, 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 whatever. This kind of microphone don't make sense for that. You see a lot of people use it. I use it. I love it. It's fantastic. But this kind of a microphone would be trash in a bag for a person that's traveling to always be wondering, oh, did I accidentally, when I drop my bag, did the wind muff thing get too dented, or is the foam, more compact now, so it's not having, as good of a use as it should be. It's not working like it quite should because it's flat instead of more airy. Did I bump the grill? Maybe it's ripping the wind muffs now. Did I mess up the cable, or, my frame gets some? Like, it's not built for that. It could probably handle whatever you throw at it, but it's not built for that. So that's why I'm saying something like the Sam's Q2U. Back there on the shelf over here is a Rode microphone. I hate it in this office. Absolutely hate it. I love Rode as a company, and their products are stellar. And I love what they're doing with that microphone, but it sucks in this office because feels like 32 seconds, here comes a jet. But this microphone, you maybe hear 1 out of the 10, it feels like. Maybe. And that's when they're doing like trainings and such, and they're going like straight in the air. Or the real big loud planes at times. But this microphone is stellar in this situation. So the what you buy matters tremendously. What is going on? David Hunt in the building. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Angela, good to see you. Good morning. Glad that you are here. Let's see here. David, I was just thinking like Will Wonder, don't start no mess. Won't be no mess. Saying how much dollars do we get at 15,000 sub, if you don't mind me asking, for the range? Sam, good to see you. Glad that you're here. As far as YouTube is concerned, the subscriber has nothing to do with how much you get paid. That's the true answer. It's not even like I don't want to tell you. Like, it ranges based on your videos. The who subscribes. You can have 15,000 people subscribing a day, and you just enter the partner program. It means $0, 0 cents if they aren't watching. If they watch a piece of a video, contributes to nothing. So my money, yeah, I make some nice money, I'll say, having roughly 15,000 subscribers on YouTube, but that has nothing to do what I make in my actual company. That isn't anything to do with how long I stream or any of that. Hell, even buy me a coffee can, if you, I guess, are only using that or something like that, you can make more money using that. So the subscribership number, just like you'll see sometimes clickbaity videos, how much YouTube paid me for 1 million views. A view only quantifies a few seconds. So a view is only when you watch maybe, let's say 3, 5, 8 seconds or so. Then at that point, if you got a 15-minute video, you made no money. You were, making a penny of a penny. And then you're also talking about AdSense for the YouTube revenue, for the YouTube partner program. So if your goal in essentially becoming a creator is to let YouTube be your job, you need some other kind of business model wrapped around the videos of what you're doing. So for example, I'm gonna put this on the screen. This right here, you see now in the corner, over here in the corner, you see this buy me a coffee tag. What happens over on buy me a coffee is so much easier to get, and I mean get right now money when somebody drops however much they drop. We could pull that up real quick because it's instant. There's no wait period or what have you. You also have, like, that's where I host my channel memberships instead of on YouTube. So I don't have to wait for whatever day it is. I can't remember that we get paid for YouTube. I can go when I feel like it. And I can also accept donations. Whereas unless, like I think the cut with YouTube, which again, you pay the cost to be the boss, which I think the cut with YouTube is 40 cents to the dollar. So that's what their cut is. So they're taking about, their cut being about 40%. Granted, imagine an unlimited 4K plus Dropbox for free, stream for as long as you want to, kind of a deal. That's fine. However, let's go over to my page on Buy Me a Coffee and let's take a look here. So over here on Buy Me a Coffee, you'll see a couple different things. And this is something I think is smart if you are getting into, let's say you can have a successful business, but maybe you're just getting started on YouTube. You have a successful Facebook and LinkedIn presence, but you're just getting started, let's say with Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. Okay, but you're wanting to get into that space. This is a great way to leverage that instead of waiting to get into the YouTube Partner Program, kind of a deal. Highly recommend Buy Me a Coffee. You can go check that out. So this is what I host over here for my channel memberships, because it allows me to do a whole hell of a lot more than what I could do for private members only community posts on YouTube. And I still can do member replays. So like a live only thing for the members. This could have been a live only thing for the members. Unlisted video on YouTube, but we post the page in the back of Buy Me a Coffee. So the membership, you can pay whatever you want for as the setting the price. I think with YouTube, they only allow, I've seen as much as like $25 a month or something like that for some. I have not seen anything more than that. I'm sure that you could. But again, remembering that it's a 60-40 split when it comes to YouTube. Okay, well, the membership over here, I can set this whatever I want. So if I say, okay, this is the last month that memberships are going to be $10 a month, and then that moves to $25 a month, and we're going to double up on the content, plus have 2 other whatever kind of stuff, I dictate what goes over here. So any of my trainings, replays, or whatever from Clubhouse, it goes over here. Members only behind the scenes videos goes over here. Early and members only podcast episodes over here. Also something coming with that. We're going to have a dedicated feed for that. Just met with my team yesterday. And so just know, channel members, it's going to be a podcast feed. So you don't necessarily have to come back here to get it. So we'll talk about that in the area. Discount on merch. So I'm wearing one of my pieces of merch from, again, this is another income source. Talking about it. So it's called this is the Learn and Do shirt, right? So you go to my website and you go to the shop area. I think it's like, let's go to here, press. And so over here. So this is another revenue source. Yes, you can use Teespring, but I choose not to. I support the businesses that I believe in, and that's pressandsew.com. This is where I do my merch at over here. So my create, post, repeat shirts are over here. The Learn and Do shirts are over here. You also have some other designs and stuff that are coming over here. So Sylvia, Andrew Nixon are incredible. They're entrepreneurs as well. But if I say it's going to be, I don't know, 15% off discount for such and such, channel members or whatever, cool. That's a thing. Also get support on a monthly basis, notify email when members only posts are published. So when we go over here behind the scenes, 61 posts currently for stuff that's back here. They knew about the Mastering Micro Content course before anybody else did. Podcast episode drop before everybody else did. They had access to go listen to it. Also, when you go past here, it's other stuff. Like, so when you think about profanity, slurs, other stuff when it comes to just protecting your community's vibe, and the community integrity as a whole, when you look at the channel and stuff like that, the filters that I use on YouTube. Okay, here's a free download that you can get. Here's all the current things that I use, including political figures and all of that, just because there's no place for all of that stuff over here. Y'all can talk about that on your own channel. So when it's political season, I add every candidate For most of like whoever is going and stuff like that, there's no political ads that play unless somebody slips through for some reason or whatever, if they maybe miscategorize something or whatever. But that goes away. Also post other stuff like back here or whatever. So we go in more detail. Right now, even like if you go, actually, let's go back. So if we go over here and you scroll down, then you'll see like this person became a member. Album, thank you for the love, 5 coffees. Elaine bought a coffee. These are just people that can give a donation for whatever that they want over here on the support tab, as much as they want to. And I've had people come over here and just smash, like they just put in whatever they want to graciously, and I'm thankful for it. And people come over here and they support. So when it was my birthday, or just because, I don't know, I'm grateful. Nonetheless, I'm grateful. Easy to max that out from a stream than waiting around for YouTube income. So for 15,000 subscribers has nothing to do with nothing. That I could get $50 a month and be sitting at 15,000 subscribers. Or I can get $1,000 a month and be sitting at 15,000 subscribers. It doesn't matter. Like, it literally does not matter. And the income with YouTube can fluctuate depending on your current video content and how well those videos are performing, as well as the ads and the stuff like that. More people, more ads showing, stuff like that. Also, that what rolls into your YouTube partner program paycheck are stuff when people give super chats. So those come in through there as well. They also have the giving and the thanks buttons and stuff like that that you'll see on certain channels. The gaming niche is a good place to see more of the stuff that comes out before it releases to the rest of the YouTube platform. So that's how that works. I would be starving if I was waiting on YouTube, to be honest with you. Like, I could pay the internet bill and maybe the gas and maybe some of the electricity bill or something before needing to pay my phone bill. And I think that would be the YouTube income, just about. So maybe the YouTube, we're not even talking about none of the tools that I use. We're not even talking about paying my team. So running a company around and surrounding a business model around the content that gets published, that's why I don't stress about YouTube income. It's nice. I'm always grateful for it. Whatever it is, has nothing to do with nothing when it comes to income or how much I get paid for speaking and doing keynotes. Nothing. Think twice about YouTube income. For real, for real. All right, let's go over here to the chat. But that was a great question. I'm really glad that you asked that. Saying bye, Miss Dinah Gladden, that coffee. Hey, y'all, listen, the first one's on me, okay? Let me bring up my stream mix real quick because I need something. And you know what else is cool about Ecamm? Side note for y'all. Here, I'll show you what I'm. This is behind the scenes for those of you that don't know. The Being a Creator series is sponsored by Ecamm. So again, it's a paid sponsorship through Ecamm. We just finished talking about income. Think about that. All right. So show y'all some of what was going on so far that you'll see in some of the later episodes, maybe by next Tuesday. It depends, I guess. Within the next 2 weeks or whatever, you'll be seeing some of that footage come out. So I have my stream mix on here, which is what I was getting ready to go play, which is all the music and stuff like that. The Wheel of Wonder, for goodness sakes, because David is here. So y'all got y'all fixed Wheel of Wonder, folks, for 2.32 seconds. But when I'm doing the trainings and stuff like that for the Mastering Micro course, I'm using Ecamm for that as well. Nothing because of their sponsor. I'm trying to promote, like, just because it works. So when you think about how you use the tools, we talked about that earlier, like your workflow and your systems. So I have the screen share mix over here, or folder rather. So depending on how I'm doing something or what I'm sharing, then it changes to whatever I think layout makes the most sense for whatever that setup is, or when I was sharing the screen over there. Right. So depending on what I'm doing, I'm like, yeah, I'm probably going to share the screen today. Let me go ahead and get that together. Pre-show music, stuff like that is there, but the Mastering the Micro course stuff is here also. So the intro screens, all that stuff, we're doing that in Ecamm Live. So I also have the intro music and stuff for the beginning of the training, all that. I had to do very little editing on these, not to just sit down and blah, but I just thought you all should know. Think twice about the what you use and the how you use it for just different tools in your business, because if you are leveraging them properly, your systems and efficiency, like you can crank out so much more. Like otherwise I would never feel comfortable doing more content if I didn't have good systems and efficiency. So I just think that's like super, super duper important. All right, let's see here. So I wasn't gonna even ask about the Wheel of Wonder, not even the music. However, if you're feeling generous, I won't turn it away. Well, I'm glad you got your 2.32 seconds worth of Wheel of Wonder music. Who would have guessed? Good evening, Anurag. I think Anurag, is that right? Let me know how to properly pronounce your name. Good evening. Good to see you over in India. Glad that you are here. Saying if I plan to start a buy me a coffee site, I'll put a minimum at $100. If you drop in value like that, your people won't have no problem dropping $100. So, but if it's too high and you got 2 videos, you might want to reevaluate. But saying aloha. Thanks, David. Okay, cool. Buy me a coffee is valuable the way they keep adding features. I 100% agree. Good morning. Good to see you, blind guy, that his wife, their life. Yeah, it's very interesting for some of the stuff that you can do. Let's see here. I know I had for Rebrandly, I know there's I had an affiliate link. So that's another type of income. It's like affiliate links. If you guys are trying to figure out your income stuff or how to make it make sense financially for the time investment that you have to give to being a creator, because that's absolutely a thing. So one of the ways, so for example, here, I can show you this, which I think this kind of a stream is super helpful. So when I get ready to go do something, share something, like you can see the last was 3 days ago for the Leap replay. If I need to recommend something or refer something, it just makes sense to make it dyna.link/whatever that thing is to make sure that we can do that. So somebody was like, what's the whatever for the contact me page? Need a quick link, grab it. For the Clearance Zoom calculator that we gave for, it's a free, a premium free offer that we give over on the website with a blog post and video. It's like dyna.link/calc. So I'm coming over here. I'm like, okay, I think I had a buy me a coffee thing over here, or so I thought, but I'm seeing that I don't. Let me see, coffee. But I use Rebrandly for this. I talked about this in this week's episode. So it'll link, let's see here, dyna.link/coffee, which clearly I'd never recommend. So need to do more of that. So dyna.link/coffee. You can check out buy me a coffee. I think you might get something for that, but you might not. You might not. I think it's like $5 or something like that credit. I don't know, but it's worth checking out if nothing else. So let's see here. All right. Let me catch up to the chat as is per usual. But yeah, buy me a coffee is a great value for the posts that you can create and the kind of stuff that you can provide. And we talked about podcasts a few seconds ago. You can or will be able to start including a private RSS feed podcast to your people in Buy Me a Coffee. So again, thankfully, because I use Kajabi for my website and just about everything, we're able to already have access to that. So that's who I'm going to do it through. I'm starting to make the transition to just about everything over in Kajabi. So not going to use that right now, but we'll probably do a tutorial when it comes around. I've been waiting for that to populate fully for a while. One of the other things I like about Buy Me a Coffee is they are very receptive to their community making suggestions, and you do voting as to if it's highly desired or not. And so I think it's like if you probably Google Buy Me a Coffee feature request or something like that, then there's a link to a community site for Buy Me a Coffee. So if you have a feature that you think that should be on the platform that maybe would be beneficial to people in your space or niche, definitely recommend it, because that stuff goes through a lot. Like it gets approved a lot. What is going on, Dr. Elo? Saying I fully support Preston, so got to help our own 110%. Saying, oh man, I have to buy me a coffee, but I didn't know you could put all that over there. Can you go live from there? So if you decide that you want to go live, for example, so if I'm over here in the space. Like you come over in your dashboard, and what you'll do is you'll click on the My Post. So the one thing that I do like, why I did want to do just regular channel memberships, because one, I can give more at a rate that YouTube is just not up to par with yet. With YouTube, with the channel memberships, all you get is like an icon or something in the chat, which I think would be cool. But you also get community tab S space, where you'll see members only post in the midst of every other post. And then you'll see, like, basically you have like videos or live stream that you can make members only. And for right now, that's the extent of it. But if I come over here, I can message my people. I have access to their emails, so I can send them an email, which also helps to contribute to building an email list and community if you're not doing that. Also, if I say I want to create a post, then I can write a post, add an album, and then again, you'll see the publish a podcast will become available as well. You also have other stuff on here, so like the extras area, stuff that you want to provide. You can do, well, oh crap, I don't want to show anybody's email, so let me go over here to my extras first, because I definitely don't want to be giving away any details. I have to go back and blur that later. Okay, so let's take a look over here. So we go in here, this is what's currently available for the extras. You start from scratch, make your own thing, book a Zoom call, digital download. So if I wanted to give away something that was maybe, let's say $47 on the website, but I'm like, channel members, you get access to that for, I don't know, 20 bucks or something, or for free or something, whatever. Or if you didn't have a website at all, and you did create or want to do something and have it as a digital product, you could do that over here. Art commissions, which is, again, I think the initial way that Buy Me a Coffee started, they're making a transition to fully accept like how people are using them, live ticket event, and so on and so forth. But what you can do is create a post, and when you go to write a post, so for example, if I wanted to make today's stream a members only thing, then what I would do, we'll go to YouTube. Actually, I should have went to YouTube. Well, I'm available right there, a Zoom. So I go over to my channel. You can do this beforehand. So this would be an unlisted stream instead of a live one. Trying to catch it, so I can pause it real quick. Except like how people are using them. Alrighty. Live ticketed pause. All right, so you click the share. This is even without, like, once you schedule it, then you can go over here, you hit the embed. You get the embed code for that. So when I go over to Buy Me a Coffee, what I would do is say members only live stream happening today. For any coding, HTML coding, embed stuff or whatever, and if you just hover, it'll say embed some stuff, which is helpful. You can do tweets, YouTube, Vimeo, SoundClouds, and Spotify files. So it's not exhaustive currently, but it's something. And so, okay, I don't know what they're doing, but we'll run with that for now. All right, so let's do members only. And that automatically checks if it's like, let's say you have multiple tiers, like a Patreon, you can do that too. So that's available. I could also say email everybody, and then I'll say replay content is the category that would fit in. And then even though that's messed up, that's cool because it at least is something. I'm not going to do the email bit, but I am going to hit publish. Alrighty. And then it'll say that this is available and that this post is live. So if I click copy, what you guys will see when I drop this in the chat, it'll link over to it, but you won't be able to see it. Oh, it actually worked. Okay. So that one there is like, so now that live replay is there. I'm not sure what all happened with the thing, so a portion of the coding probably is off, but it at least shows. You probably could just do the regular YouTube link over there instead of the true embed thing, so that probably more or less is all that they're picking up for this. So I just don't think they have it completely built out for true HTML5 or whatever it is, kind of a coding stuff, but neither here nor there. But yeah, so now in the members only area is this specific stream. So this literally just could be the members only stream. And whatever questions that they have, we can still run it like YouTube because it is on YouTube. The replays are available on YouTube. And even any videos that I have are unlisted videos. But even because, like I was showing y'all before, the systems and stuff of how you create matters. Let's go over here to my extras bit. This is what, let me pause this for a second. So I'm going to show y'all what the intro is like for when I'm getting ready to do a video dedicated for that. So this is what I do over here. And then it comes into me being on the screen. So even the stuff that I use as far as being in Ecamm, so we go back up here, so I don't need that. So even that stuff that I do as far as like the Ecamm, like I don't have to do anything other than come in here and sit down and see what I want to create or what's on the agenda for today. It's just that easy. So just be thinking about the what you're doing and the how you're doing it. Like, don't make stuff so complicated for yourself. If you have something or you own something already, or for example, like I said, Ecamm, if you already have it and you're only using it to live stream, you're missing the boat. That's one of the biggest things that I hope to have communicated throughout the Being a Creator series, is that if you're only using Ecamm for live streaming, you're tripping. I use this more for regular video stuff and just more other creative content stuff than I do for just live streaming, because that's once a week. This week, twice a week. So any talks and stuff that I give, Ecamm. I don't need to use or learn nothing about nobody else's platform. I bring my stuff in. So I hope that I'm trying to give as many examples as possible in this stream, because I really want y'all to understand like creative workflows are important. And we'll go over to the chat. So let's see here. Tutorial screen share. Actually, let's go to this one. And so over here, I have my slides. So this is one that I did before in using Ecamm. But if I'm getting ready to do a presentation, more likely I'm at the just me screen. So they only see this bit over here. So they say, okay, minus the buy me a coffee tag. And he's like, okay, Diana, okay, you have the stage, everybody welcome, blah, blah, blah. Thanks so much. Give my little intro or what have you. Be like, okay, so let's dive into the content. So today I want to talk to you about unclear messaging with your social content. And I go through and I do my talk. And so when I'm done, I go through the different slides or whatever, which this actual true content is already live on the channel from a previous live stream. And then I can go back to being just me and like, okay, so if we're ready to dive into Q&A, whoever the host is, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and dive in. I don't care if they're feeding that into Zoom, Webinar, Jam, or any other those other webinar platforms or whatever. I don't have to use anything other than the stuff that I already built for a system for my live stream. That's when I need to do it live. My system also works when I need to do the Mastering Micro course content. It also works when I need to do my Buy Me a Coffee stuff. So if I have dedicated music and stuff like that for the Buy Me a Coffee intro and all of that, that's all I need to do. If I need to add something in editing, 95% of the video is already done. Maybe I just want to add in some specific stuff that would not be as polished if I tried to do it in real time. So I'll do that bit in editing, whereas otherwise I don't need to. So hopefully that helps you all when you are thinking about some of the stuff that you're doing. All right, let's dive into the comments. My bad, y'all. I got sidetracked. Say my monthly income is $12,000, means $140 per month. Sometimes less than that. That's not bad. Whatever. It's like, here's the thing. It can always grow. I don't care what the income. It could be $100,000 a month. It can always grow. So that creative girl could see. Glad that you're here. So you're able to use this as a mini membership site as opposed to doing it on Kajabi. Yes, because I started Buy Me a Coffee, I believe, prior to hiring my assistant. And so the other thing also with building a team, which you all have seen the behind the scenes stuff in the Being a Creator series as well, we have to get them on board with the systems and the processes. And when you build a system and a process, the way you like to do it, it's like that joke of how companies say you're supposed to do or train somebody. And then it's always that one person in the office that'll say, well, this is what they say to do, but this is what I do. Kind of no, it has to be a system. So no matter who is sitting in that seat, It is a duplicatable process for something that will work. So I don't build systems around things that just work for me. It has to work for the team. So in part of building a team, I have to make sure that there's no gaps in the what we use. We had to change. Yeah, we had to change for how they were tracking their time and keeping up with the work and stuff like that so that they could get paid. We had to change that. We're on the third system now that finally has all the different things. But you can't test stuff with the team until you get a team, which means your work goes from here to up here. So you got to figure that stuff out. So it's like when you think about the channel membership stuff as well, the reason why we did it on Buy Me a Coffee is because it just made sense. I can do it. They don't have to do anything. They can focus on their stuff, and it's not like saying, oh, this needs to be updated on Kajabi, blah, blah, blah. No. Now, eventually, it'll transition to Buy Me a Coffee. All the old content will come over there. But for now, or at the time, this is like, no, it's like it's easy to let people do this through Buy Me a Coffee. And it also helps people to understand, like, if you don't have a Kajabi or something, maybe using a WordPress or something else that may be a little bit more complicated, this is something that's easy that you can do. So it also, I'm not willing to really recommend something that I wouldn't put my money behind as well. So that's the thing also. So it kind of serves dual purposes there. Saying yes, powered by Press and So. Love it. Saying I love cameras. I already clicked on that one. My bad. Said I love cameras. Even I had a YouTube channel, but didn't have enough money for a camera, so I quit. Well, either you're on a computer or you're on a phone, and I can tell you right now, upwards of about $5,000 for the course. I'm pretty sure it was like $5,000. It was a course training that was about 5 Gs per person, shot on a webcam on a laptop. Pretty dark and didn't look fantastic. However, people still bought it and they loved it because of the content. I am not talking about me. So here's the thing. You could shoot it on the phone, the rear facing camera, these, or the one, whatever. I don't care what you get. It don't have to be the iPhone 13, whatever. This is an iPhone 11, iPhone 6 even. Somebody messaged me saying like, I'm on an iPhone 6 getting it done. And I'm like, boss sauce, because it don't matter. iPhone 8, or even honestly like the Xiaomi kind of a stuff, the Google Pixel phones, relatively cheap in price, extremely good in the quality. So it really don't matter. And here's how gutter I get when it comes to stuff. If somebody else has what I need, I'm like, I need to borrow that. Like if I had, let's say I stayed in a hostel, if I was traveling or something like that, and it just wasn't great looking, but maybe I'm someplace where I could stay with a friend. Like, can I borrow your den, or can I borrow one of your spare bedrooms to do some videos? Do you mind? Can I watch the kids for you in return? Or let me cook dinner? My whole thing was, if I needed something done, well, I'm all for bartering. When I used to work in corporate America and I needed to get something done, okay, well, I'm not necessarily going to pay people, but it's like, what is like the fastest way to a man is through his heart or whatever? It's true for women too. I had cooked me a from scratch peach cobbler with the crust, like everybody like, plenty of crust, plenty of juice and peaches for those that like it. From scratch, mom and grandma's recipe peach cobbler. Come in, hey everybody. It's like, so Steve, I was wondering if I could get Tuesday off. Hell yeah, you get Tuesday off. Well, I'm thinking like, for real, I need like Tuesday to Thursday, and then I'll come back on payday and, you know, rock it on Friday. Okay, you think I didn't? I'm not even joking. Make a barter with the work. Even just like, cause I would need to leave early from my job to be able to come and make videos or something if something dropped and it was relevant and I want to talk about it and get on top of the trend and stuff. Okay, well, I remember I shot with some kind of a phone. It was crappy as hell. It's like whatever the free one that they would give you. And I'm like, man, I need to go. I need to have finally got a better phone. And I'm like, okay, I need to go. I need to do videos. I can't remember what camera I had at the time. But that is something that I took away from regular bills. I can't remember what light got cut off at the time, but I'm pretty sure it was probably like gas or something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like gas. So let the bill get go and just get cut off, because I'm like, I'm going to take that money plus some whatever overtime stuff, and I'm going to put that towards getting the camera. And little do you know, again, it's not just the camera, it's the camera plus the lens and the other stuff, and then learning to use it, blah, blah, blah. I was like, fine, whatever. I bought all my stuff used, no shame in my game. So something dropped, and I'm like, I need to get home. I need to like start having these many hours, and I can't wait until the evening for that. So what I did was to make space for it. Even though I worked a full-time job, I'm like, I'm fast and I'm efficient and I'm good at my job. I don't need to be here all day, because for what some people would do from like 9 to, I think it was like 4 or something when they get off, I would do that from 7 to 9:30. And I could sit and watch the YouTube videos, and I'm like, I could be at home doing some other stuff, like actually working. So I went up to my supervisor and I was like, what if I could clear such and such, whatever backlog of accounts by 10:30? Can I leave and go home early? It's like, you know, that'll eat into your PTO or whatever. I was like, I don't care. I want to leave early. And he didn't think I could do it. He's like, okay. I said, are you serious? I said, if I do it 10:30, I can leave, right? I said, bet. Went back, came back, 10:45. It's like, they all cleared? I said, all cleared. He's like, you're free to go. I kept doing that for months. Got to the point, it was like, I'm 2 years in. I'm like, I don't work overtime. Overtime is available, becoming mandatory. Diana don't work overtime. Diana goes home. It's like, I come in a little early, I come in late. If it's mandatory, I work through my breaks and I'm gonna take my lunch. And if by the end of the week, I don't have what you need, then I don't know what to tell you. Every supervisor heard that from me. I kid you not. It's like, hey, we need you to come in. It's like, and again, this is just like going gutter for what you need to do if you work in a full-time job. This is my process. This is what I did. It's like, hey, you know, we want you to work overtime. Look, here's what I can do. I come in a little early. I can stay a little late. I'm gonna take my lunch and I can skip the breaks. By the end of the week, I don't have the hours that y'all look into between all of that, or the amount of work I've done. I can't. They're like, well, what's a little bit? Who knows? 15 minutes, maybe 20, 30, maybe. It's like, well, I'm thinking like 2 hours early. Hell no. Like, no, it's not happening. It's just not happening. I kid you not, my family laughs when they hear that because they know I come in a little early, I can stay a little late. A little is a little. I'm gonna take my lunch and work through my breaks. By the end of the week, I don't have what you need. I just don't know what else to tell you, because I'm working a lot and I'm efficient. I don't need to be here all these excessive hours like everybody else. I just don't. Brought the director in, sit me down in the office. Can't get Diana to do overtime. She's like, well, Diana, what's going on? Well, Susan, here's what I told Steve. I come in a little early. I come in a little late. I stay a little late. I take my lunch and I'm going to skip my breaks and work through the breaks. If by the end of the week, Susan, I mean, I don't know what much more to tell you than I just told Steve over here. As that, everybody, director comes in again. It's like, hey, we really would like to see. It's like, well, I mean, do I need a write-up slip? Because if you got the write-up, I got the pen. I'm okay with getting in trouble. Y'all ain't gonna whoop my behind. Like, I was scared of getting a whooping as a kid. I ain't scared about getting in trouble at work. You always get another job. Banking is everywhere. Like, so I'm like, come in a little early, stay a little late. So you can always make it work. So using my PTO at work, make my money at home, and start building my stuff and building my business up. Then it got to the point I can make more with the work that I'm doing in 10 hours outside of the job than what I would make in 2 weeks at the company. So I come in a little early. I stay a little late. Okay. I'm telling you, don't go into your job making your families mad because you didn't got fired trying to say what I said. But I'm just saying, I believed in, what I was building, and moving forward, it was the best decision ever. So let God lead you. Try not to be too ignorant in the middle ways. So for me, $1,000 are equal to $100 a month, but it's okay. I think that's fantastic. I don't care like what you are making with your channel. I always think it's fantastic, but because here's the thing, you would make the content anyway. So whatever that money is, you're doing great because you can always build on it. And if you have a good success rate already with a small community, the larger your community grows, the better that things will become for you. So I think it's fantastic. And also think about if they're willing to do that kind of conversion on your content there, you were going to make the stuff anyway. So you created it with the intent to take a loss. That whether or not you got some money, like you hoped, but whether or not the money came or not, you're like, I want to do this anyway. Now, when you start thinking about the business model around what you're doing, now that's this, like, you're not worried about it because maybe that pays for the email list. Like I use Kajabi for everything. So we manage the email list, the main email list through Kajabi. That pays for that. When I worked a job and I remember like less than 100 subscribers and I was getting maybe like $32 a month, I'm like, cool, that paid for ConvertKit at the time. Managed the email list. Kept going. I'm like, at least cover the bills in the business for me trying to do that and build this up. At least cover the bills for that. So that's the only goal that I had. It's like I needed a new service and tool. Okay, then I need my income to kind of come up to here. It may not be the best, but that was my goal back working and stuff like that. Alrighty. Saying I am stuck and I haven't even started. Well, Bernie, good to see you. Glad that you're here. What are you stuck with? And what are you having problems with? So let me know. So I came in after they implemented 1,000 sub rooms, so haven't been able to monetize yet, even though I've been here for like 3 years. So here's the thing: buy me a coffee. I dropped the link in the chat for that. Let's see here. I believe it is actually. You know what? I don't know what it is. It's Diana.link / something. Is it coffee? Is it? I don't even remember what the link was. Yeah, Diana.link / coffee. Get you a buy me a coffee page. I'm gonna drop this in the chat again. And go over there, create you a page. You do not need to wait for YouTube for you to start making money. You just don't. You have other stuff. If you have a business, PayPal allows you to do PayPal donations. I use Rebrandly again. So again, Diana.link / usually whatever it is that I'm recommending. So if it's Kajabi, it's like Diana.link / Kajabi, because it also helps keep it memorable for me and also memorable for other people. Hell, even to the point they'd be like, oh, I think Diana got an affiliate link for this. I've gotten these DMs. It's like, so I just tested to see if it was Diana.link / whatever. And it was. It works fantastically. So you don't need to wait for YouTube. I also got started in YouTube and I was in the partner program. And then the threshold of 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours came in, and then that income stopped. And I'm like, okay, I wasn't waiting to get paid only through you. Like I had clients. I can't remember how much I charged at the time for coaching clients or what have you, but it was over $1,000. So at the time I'm like, and shoot, because that's pennies to the dollar compared to what I get working with a client. I was still working a job too. So I'm like, okay. And that had nothing to do with my affiliate income either. So there's ways to make money. If y'all waiting on YouTube, stop. YouTube is great. I love it. It's my favorite platform. Don't wait for YouTube to get into the partner program for that to be like, man, I gotta like, it's other ways. It's better ways, in my opinion. Alrighty. Saying what sucks the most when you have skills and knowledge, but don't have enough tools to buy it. Work and use you have to think money is an exchange for value. Money is an exchange for value. You can get money when you exchange that for value that you are providing to somebody. If you have a skill, that skill, I don't care if you Google it. If you are an artist, people are getting paid for their art. If you are a mechanic, people are getting paid to be a mechanic. If you know consulting and selling really well, people are getting paid for that. I talk a lot about the book as if I co-authored this mug, How to Write Copy That Sells by Ray Edwards. If you're an author, you can get paid for writing, or you can get paid for the ideas in the book because it leads you to more clients, builds more credibility because people know or at least assume that you know what the heck what you're talking about, or if they're getting results from the stuff that you wrote in the book. It's like, can you help me with this? Sometimes your problem is not that you have skills and you can't make money from it, but you aren't promoting yourself to the people that can actually leverage that. Or you're promoting yourself to broke people that don't care if you, it's like somebody said, I could build you a nice mural in the background for your live stream, and be like, okay, like I would have been more excited if you said you can give me a 5-shelf bookshelf from IKEA, or a book. I'm like, because I don't value the painting. It's just something back there. It's not of any value to me. It just is something back there. If you don't know what people want, you can't give them or sell them what they want for you to get in exchange for that for money. And if you are promoting yourself or services or things that you have to people that do not care about whatever it is that you're talking about, they have no value, hurt, or desire for it, you're wasting your time. So sometimes it's for some of y'all that, depending on your skill, you're marketing yourselves to the wrong people. Stop talking to broke people that can't afford what you're trying to do. I remember when I was getting started with the editing company, I was getting ready to build the editing and production business. I sunsetted that business at the end of 2019. So I'm thinking, I'm still working a job at this time. People are like, oh man, you could, be an editor, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I didn't really think, but I'm like, after a while, I'm like, yeah, let's explore this here. Came up with my pricing, my starting prices. And people were like, oh man, that'd be great. I'd love for the what's included. And then they was like, okay, how much? Just throwing it out there. And people like, oh, hell no, that costs too much, this, that, or whatever. Do you know what my reply was? That's because you're the wrong target audience. You can't afford what I'm doing. Somebody that understands copywriting, marketing, I am a creator myself, and I already make videos. My work is the 300 something plus videos on the channel. That's just on the channel. No keynotes are here. No, the live streams are here, but the initial live streams and stuff that was on Facebook or whatever, that's not over here. Interviews and stuff. I know I'm well over 1,000 videos, easy. So over 1,000 videos, I have a body of work. You go over to, let's see here. Some of y'all also, your issue is you have a branding issue. And sometimes, like, I don't know what to tell y'all other than like you need to find the money, cut grass. I don't know what to tell you. Like, if you can cut hair, go cut people hair and get paid for it. I remember I was in college and I was like, my company had my family owned a what do you call it? Janitorial business. I used to make $50 every 2 weeks as a kid. I'm making it rain at the ice cream truck. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, I ain't got to get no quarter bump pop. I can get $1 whatever. Or, you know what I'm saying? I still was like super frugal. But, you know what I'm saying? So $50 every 2 weeks as a kid. Shoot. I'm like, okay. So as an adult or whatever, what can I do? I was in college and I was like, man, I need some money. I was like, everybody about to move out for whatever semester or something or holidays. And I bet you they don't want to clean their rooms. I'm put some flyers out by the elevators in the dorms. And I'm going to charge, I think I was doing something like $10 for this, $20 for this, $50 for this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I walked away with an average of like $40 per room for just the basic stuff. It's like, make sure you sweep, mop, wipe down the showers, clean the bathroom, blah, blah, blah. That was pretty much like it. Who didn't want to pay? And if your parents had money or they had money or a job or whatever, that's easy. It was easy. And also referrals. Man, your room smelled nice, look clean, blah, blah, blah. I didn't have to do no business cards. I went to the library in the school and printed the flyers. So sometimes you just need to have a little ingenuity, but also think about how you're marketing yourself. So this is my page over here for my speaker page. I don't even think we maybe have it fully developed out yet, but even on the website over here, we have where it's like we're building out the speaker portfolio, the speaker page. So the only thing I think is missing over here is the like types of talk. So even like you'll see the lorem ipsum, whatever stuff. So it's like fill in the testimonial area. So this is a page that's not live yet, but we're building this out. because I'm getting more keynotes, I'm getting more speaking stuff. I'm like, we need a dedicated page so some of this stuff can be resolved before the emails. Again, refining the system, because right now it's through either a DM or something like that, or usually an email. And then from the email, we start the communication. Whereas some stuff, I'm like, it would just be easy that they get the speaker sheet there and blah, blah, blah. So we're building this out over here, put testimonials and stuff over here and so on and so forth. And this will be a page that is live on, well, it's live right now, but it's not finished. Speaker sheet. This video, pulling clips from other stuff. So if you got skills in something, it shows credibility. You see me on there with Michael Stelzner. You see me on there with Doc Rock and Andrew. You see me on there with Stephanie Liu. All these people, it's like, so even if you don't know who I am, more than likely you may know who they are. And I've been on all of their shows. I've spoken at their events. I've worked with them before. I've done, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it only makes sense. It's like, well, we're getting keynotes. We're doing, like, we're literally doing keynotes. This last keynote was with Ecamm. The next one is for a nonprofit that I'm doing. And so it's just like, we need to have a page built for that. We're building, or we're almost done, honestly. So we need to probably finish that up. But yeah, it's like, so we're like, you're branding. How are you branding and marketing yourself? So sometimes the who you're marketing and the how you're marketing yourself or your skills is more so the problem is people that'll pay you for it. You just talking to the wrong ones. That honestly can be a problem. Can you say a little more about Press and Sew? Are they a drop shipper? No, Press and Sew is by Andrew and Sylvia Nixon. It's a real company, like a real like privately owned company. So it's like if you go down here, this is Sylvia and Andrew right here. Sylvia, Andrew Nixon. Like, they make all of the stuff that you see, and a lot of creators, even in the community, have their stuff over here. So if you go over here to shop, you'll see all the different brands that they work with. Everybody getting merch. So it's like, yeah, you could use Teespring, but I could support a privately owned Black business that I believe and support. I'd rather give it to them than to whatever random brand variety quality stuff. It's way better quality. We just changed the quality of the shirts. For what we've done, Steve Worthy, I recognize Steve's brand from his stuff, just the W. So it's like, I can go over here and support a tremendous amount of people that I know, people that are in the community or whatever, all in the same location. Ecamm also has their merchandise taken care of by Press and Sew. So I don't know whose shirt this was. The Tech Diamond. That's funny. I like that baseball cap concept. But yeah, it's like, so it's not a drop shipper or whatever. Like, so you can reach out to them if you have like in mind that you want to do a shop, but they have a lot of partners that they work with. One of the latest ones, again, like I said, is through Ecamm. So yeah, they're awesome. They are awesome. Oh, super chat, my bad. Brother. Thank you so much. That diversifying your income streams outside of YouTube is an absolute must if you want to remain sane. This algorithm will drive you there. Patreon is your go-to platform. Bless up to the Glad Gang. Brother, I appreciate you so much. Thanks so much, so much for the super chat. That's another platform, Patreon. You can build your community over there and start leveraging that for income and the like. You don't have to wait on YouTube. And the thing is, like, when it comes to the algorithm is based on people. And so sometimes YouTube has other stuff. They got other goals with the what's going out, what's pushing out. So it's like stuff is hitting hard today with the iPhone 13 embargo release. Everyone and their mother that has the phone wants to talk about the phone or plans to get it, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's kind of leveraging that right now. Why would they more so care to push this stream out? We ain't talking about the phone in that way, kind of a deal. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. So what's going on? The Sister Crystal Show. Good to see you. Glad that you are here. So I'm going to deck my page out because I left Patreon. You bring all that same content right on over. Saying, how do you keep Ecamm from muting when changing scenes? Make sure that you are not muted in that specific scene. So quick tutorial here. Right now, this is my main microphone up here. But if I go down here to the chorus at the end actually, I'm not going to click on that because that will end the stream or end the video once that's done playing. But the intro up here will have me, like, the scene is built so that I am not muted. if I had where this one over here for the screen share is muted, like on purpose for some reason or whatever, then I just need to hit it over here. It will remember. So when I go from the just me to the screen share, blah, 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 then that is now just remembered already in the thing. It just does it automatically. So I built folders for whatever it is that I'm trying to do. I don't just let all of this stuff randomly sit here. So when I covered the ZVE10, different videos or whatever examples of the time lapse, if I wanted this to be muted, like you see the movie is muted over here in this scene, because any of the audio from the wind blowing and stuff like that, I didn't want that to play. So I just left it alone. So when I looked at this, I think this is the 120 frames per second video clip from here. Okay, well, I'm referencing that here. I want to make sure any music, if I wanted to stop the stream mix and make sure that that's off, when I go back over here to the just me, those aren't muted. So it just depends on what you're trying to do. So again, I can come make sure that's on. It just automatically will remember depending on how you got your stuff set up. So I put my stuff in the folders to make sure that it stays organized for whatever it is that I'm trying to do, or whatever concept or show or something that I have in mind. And I'll just put that stuff in folders, one, because the process and the systemized is more efficient, but then also to make sure that if I'm saying when the video plays, I don't want to hear my microphone in the background. I'll come back after the video and stuff like that. Then I'll mute my main microphone just in case I forget. But if I want to start talking because I'm demoing something like, today, then so be it, kind of a deal. Saying last time I was live, I asked you about the ZV10. Yes, I did. Saying, yes, I do. The video is just not out yet here, because we covered that in a live stream. So if you check the Friday live, okay, while you out here trying to put me on blast, if you check the Friday live, that's why we had the footage over here, because I was like, I didn't have time to add it in the video prior to the thing. You asked about the 60-second, 120 frames per second, all of that was over here. So this is the 24 frames per second footage here that you're seeing on screen. And then you also said you wanted to see versus the 4K. So that's 1080p that you're seeing right now, 1080p, 24 frames per second. And then that is the 4K, 24 frames per second. So you wanted to see the difference. So we showed it, other than just me like moving and then the bush moving or whatever, just so you can see like the quality difference. And then obviously me moving closer. And then you wanted to see that versus the 120 frames per second for the slow-mo, for the quality. So let's not get it twisted. I do remember my people. All right. So I make sure everybody gets well served around these parts. So I definitely did remember, and I got you covered. We just don't have it in a video, but we did cover it in a live stream. Saying, is there value in using Linktree, or do you recommend using a website or buy me a coffee? I think you should use whatever best represents your brand and your business and what you're trying to do, but don't get too lost in the weeds with all of that. What is the one called? Something code that we were using before. I can't remember it right at this moment, but Linktree and all that stuff is fine because I have a website. I built my own stuff over here. So this is over here on so if you go to dianagladney.com/link, which is what you'll see on my Instagram bio and such, then this is what I use. So it's the same thing, but it's just a unlisted page per se on my website. So you don't have to go to anywhere. It's just all the header and all that stuff is taken off as a dedicated page. So I can update these as I feel like it. I don't have to pay anybody. I'm already paying Kajabi. So I don't need to use anybody else. If I want to embed in a video or something like that, I can. We're going to be updating our premium free offer from the Ultimate Guide to Live Streaming. We're going to be doing a 2022 version for that, but we're also going to be having a new premium free offer that becomes available. So more than likely, we'll add another button in here for 2 freebies. So you get the live streaming guide updated for 2022 if you like, or you can get the new one that's coming out that we'll talk about later when it drops. Channel membership perks takes you over to buy me a coffee page. join 14,000 plus creators on YouTube, reference you over to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Mastering Micro Content course, new session drops for that on October the 4th, or it begins October the 4th. For those of you that missed the launch for that. So I use my own website. So if you go, again, dianagladney.com/link, this is how it loads. Just with that small kind of effect or whatever. You do it on your own page. I'm not against somebody using something like a link tree or whatever. All right, coffee, don't burn me. I'm not against somebody using it, but if you have your own website, you can build your own page and call it whatever you want. I just do my /link. You call it whatever you want, but you don't have to use one of those services. You can. I have tried them. I like a lot. I like tap.bio. That's one. Things like called link code or something. A couple other ones. They make it real easy and nice and stuff. But now it's just like, I just do it on my own website. It's like, why not? It's just easy. We're not updating it that often or whatever, so you can. Saying that's not the link to no, it's not to my Buy Me a Coffee. It should be a link to, I think get a Buy Me a Coffee page. So yeah, it's not about getting you over to my one, because that one would just be dyna.link/membership, but that one's not for that. So that'll get you over to, if you want to create your own page with a referral link. I think it should get you like $5 or something. So that's what that is. What's going on, Inspirational Connection TV? Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Saying I have heard of Buy Me a Coffee, but I thought that person was joking. But it's a real website. I learn something new every day. Yep, it's it's a legit company, and they're a good brand. I like them a lot. So I had no idea Buy Me a Coffee did so much. Oh yeah, and they're dropping a lot of good stuff that's coming. Again, it's like what is it? See here, Buy Me a Coffee. I'm trying to think, what is it called? It's like requests or something like that. So the feature requests, they listen and they build according to their community. So people are saying, this is some of the stuff that's currently being upvoted or trending currently or whatever, that people are saying like, can y'all change this? So the tiers thing, similar to Patreon, everybody's like, yeah, but I'm trying to come over from Patreon. It would be cool if we could get X, Y, and Z. So people was like, okay, that became a thing based off of the feature request. Anybody can do these. It's a real simple setup for an account. People saying a verify account with the blue badge for whatever reason. 19 people agree with that. 24 people are saying, an extras free instead of $0 kind of a thing, just to change the language on that. A lot of people voted for a dark mode. And then you can also see what's already planned or in progress. So audio posts via podcast, it's already planned. So they're in the process of working on it. You also look at the in progress. I remember seeing this one from Payoneer. People were saying that they wanted to see, like, so other countries, like, they don't use PayPal like that, or they don't use certain platforms. So that people were saying, like, can people make donations and join and pay through TransferWise and Payoneer? Payoneer is one I am familiar with. So that's something that's now in progress. Saying more words in quote unquote your story or the thank you message. Yeah, I agree, because it's definitely short. YouTube approved site for linking, in progress. Instagram in place for Twitter. So that's in progress. So a lot of cool stuff that they're doing. And this stuff is based off of what their community says, or stuff that did come out. So you can see stuff that did come by, like the Apple Pay support. Payoneer is done just like through Payoneer now, but ability to disable yearly memberships, support for more currencies, message and email notifications to specific levels. So it's really neat what they're doing over there. I really, really support what they're doing. I love it. Love it. Everyone hit the like button right now. 100%. That's what I'm talking about. Alrighty, we have JFK. JFK Productions said Dark Chocolate Gang in the house. See, let me show y'all something with the wonderful power of Ecamm. What we can do is correct this, text for his comment, hit save, and now it's right. So now we've corrected it. So white chocolate gang in the house. Otis gonna good to see you. Said Diana, you're setting people free with the Buy Me a Coffee. Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes. Amazing. Just sign up for Buy Me a Coffee. That's what I'm talking about. Getting it done. What's going on? Scaredy Ginge. I love that name. Saying hello. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Saying this channel is the gospel truth. This I learned about it in Sunday school. 100%. Say thanks so much. This is what I need because I'm trying to find a good platform to transition to. Yeah, and you can bring all of your existing stuff to Patreon. Obviously, you know, your comments and such won't be there. I mean, I guess at best, if you needed to take a screenshot and maybe just make a category at the bottom of a post or something like previous comments or answered questions, you take a screenshot of that and then have that image in the post so that you don't fully, you know, lose it kind of a deal if it's something important from the community or whatever. So the Sisters Crystal saying, I will sign up for Buy Me a Coffee. That's what I'm talking about. Getting it done. What is going on, Dean Reynolds? Good to see you. Saying, Diana, it is Tuesday. I know. If you see, it's the Being a Creator live stream. So instead of a recorded video today, we're doing a live stream. So I wanted to make sure that I came in, answer people's questions about that. So we had a lot of good stuff today. A lot of good stuff. It's exactly what I was looking for in a mini membership site. I'm glad. Should I get a capture card to live stream on my ZV-1? Because right now I'm just live streaming straight from the camera. That's a great question. So I think if you are live streaming with the ZV-1, shout out to Bees Knees Hall of Fame. Okay, I love that thing. It's a little wooden bee. Okay. Anyway, back to your question. You can, for optimal quality, and if you're doing longer live streams, I would highly recommend it because recommend getting a capture card, that is, because for me, if I'm just doing a 1 hour, 30-minute, 45-minute live stream, like if you're traveling about and stuff like that, or that's just the normal length of your live shows, I wouldn't mind doing it through USB. We also have native integration with Ecamm, so you can live stream like we saw last week, live streaming through the Sony ZV-E10. You can I've done that with the a6600 and so on and so forth. So all your Sony cameras will work with Ecamm, and you can still get 4K and charge internally for any of them. But when you're just doing it through the camera, it is at a lower resolution. I think it's like 720p or what have you. It's going to be awfully noticeable. Maybe not to your community or whatever. As a creator, you probably would notice that. I think it's important to get a capture card as well as the AC adapter, just because at that point you're bulletproof. You aren't worried about the power source draining over time. What I got last week when I tested using the ZV-E10 live streaming via USB through Ecamm, which is not out yet, so y'all keep that on the low. Probably shouldn't even be saying that about it, but I was testing that. I got 11 hours before the battery got to the battery symbol being on. Camera didn't cut off. It's still like streaming or whatever, but 11 hours or connected for streaming is 11 hours at that point. So I don't mind live streaming via USB. I love it for traveling. At home though, or in a stationary setup or something like that, I want the best of the best. And that means HDMI, period. So, and that also means if you ever needed to record and live stream internally, the Sony cameras can do that, including the ZV-1, but you can't do that through the USB. So I do recommend getting a capture card and investing in one. I only recommend one capture card if I can reach it. And that's the Cam Links. Cam Links, it's the way to go. So if you need a capture card, get your Cam Link. I've had this one, specifically this one, for the last 4+ years. It's not flinched on me. They work. So yeah, get a capture card, get an AC adapter, and I think it's the best thing, personally. Question. I like to use Buy Me a Coffee to schedule consultations, wondering if I should use Calendly, Acuity, or a more robust system to manage appointments. If you operate and live on a calendar, I personally recommend Calendly, because the reason why it's cool if you just maybe want to do one-offs, and I think you can do integrations into Buy Me a Coffee. So It's not that it's bad. I just know for my system setup and stuff, I just don't want to play around with my calendar. And I know I can get those fine intricacies of scheduling stuff through Calendly. So when somebody, oh shoot, blind guy, his wife, their life. I see that buy me a coffee over there. Thank you so much for the $15. I don't know why the alert thing. I think I need to refresh that. It didn't work, but let's see extras in the buy me a coffee area. So let's see here. So let's see how this would work, because I know that they have it over here, but it's like so you can do consultations or whatever. Ask a question, limit time slots over here. Limited number of slots creates a sense of urgency. So let's say you only got 12. Special price for members. So let's say you did offer coaching or whatever, you could. I just personally book a Zoom call. Yeah, I don't vibe with this. So if I go to dianagladney.com/work with me page, I'll show you what I have over here and why I'm saying like Calendly. I get it. It's dope for what a lot of Buy Me a Coffee does. If you only need to do like one-off things, cool. Systems. So if you click on schedule a call, go over to 30-minute consultations. Now you could probably link over there, like here's my calendar thing, but I just would prefer to still use Calendly for it or whatever. And I accept the payments through here. So like it's already set up through PayPal. Let you know web conferencing details be provided upon confirmation. And here's my current availability. At the earliest is on September the 27th and then the 29th for these ones. And then it's just like, so it's really limited days for what's available there. If you click on the 1 hours or whatever, and that's just, again, this is the web page on Kajabi that I have, and then still have similar availability, but slightly different for the 1 hour consultations, and as well as the updated price for the additional time. And then it's like a little message or whatever. Okay, well, the reason why you'll see like time slots go away is not only with the Calendly, that is not only just because people will schedule and it's like, oh, that time slot is unavailable. I may have a talk during that time. So if I have another keynote that's going on during that time slot disappears. So it was like one last night, working with my team, we got another interview that's coming up. And it's like, yeah, we're going to have to open up some more time slots or move the dates ahead so people can schedule more in advance, because October is busy. November is getting busy. So now it's like, okay, fine. Let's go into November, December scheduling and start looking ahead for that calendar. We can do that easily through Calendly. If I add something to my calendar right now on my phone, then Calendly automatically updates so I can sync it with my other stuff. So I don't always have to go back to like a buy me a coffee and take stuff away. So I like it. I'm a big efficiencies person. So if the website doesn't have the efficiencies of what I need, again, buy me a coffee currently does not, in my opinion. If you need to operate and live like how I do off a calendar, I highly recommend using Calendly for that. People still bought it for, saying, should I get a capture card or whatever? Yeah. Okay. I must be missing it because I know I'm behind. So my bad. Let's see here. So show more pictures comparing the ZV-E10 to the ZV-1. So this isn't that stream for today. David, good to see you. Glad that you're here. But as well as Brown and Beachy, good to see you. Glad that you're here. But yeah, it's like, this ain't that stream. So even though we have said gear and equipment or whatever, I promise we will get some ZV-E10 videos this week. We already have stuff in the back side of things for YouTube, for other stuff. I promise you guys will see that on the channel, but not on the stream. so I'm late. My life is favors. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Alrighty, Sam, you're funny. Let's see. Camlink 4K, other capture cards 1080p, 4K rocks. I 100% agree with you. Just because, what was it? Something happened where, I know what it is. Kajabi. Now, granted, we doing 4K streams, 4K everything. This camera, or these Sony cameras rather, do 6K video, and they will squeeze it down, or like I like to say, squeeze. It's squeeze into 4K. I'm taking 6K footage, squeezing that down into 4K video files. Kajabi is like, we don't know what kind of business you're running over there, but you need to do that in 1080p. And I'm like, fine. So course videos, 4K, have to squeeze that down even further into 1080p. All the resolution details are still there. It's just a smaller container, if you will. So when we think about now the longevity, so again, that was something else that came up in our team meeting. So if you think about the longevity for the content, yeah, we couldn't necessarily upload it in the highest resolution possible, but it is recorded in a high resolution. So it will survive the quality updates over time. When Kajabi eventually opens and say, fine, everything can be 4K or higher or whatever, because it is based on like the size of the file, then it's like, okay, cool. But for now, it's just like you taking that 4K footage and squeezing that down. But that also means if we ever decide we want to share any of that or repurpose any of that content, it will survive the compression of these different websites and stuff like that. So 4K absolutely is the bee's knees. Hall of Fame. Saying maybe I need stable income for now. Then maybe you could continue my channel or continue your channel, create one. Yeah, you definitely have to figure out the income stuff for sure. Appalachian Ambrosia, good to see you, saying I've been out of the loop for a month. Where can I see or pay for your creator series? You're the best. The Being a Creator series actually is already on the channel. You can go to thecreator.guide if you want to catch up on some of the replays and stuff like that, or go in order. But it's already on the channel. Those videos, it's in a dedicated playlist. But if you go over here to the Being a Creator series page, the thecreator.guide, currently need to update this. I forgot to do that. But you can get the previous creator guides and stuff like that. But you can also see the various episodes from episode 10, 11 all the way back to episode 1, even the trailer, and check that out. But all those are available on YouTube, so you don't need to pay for those. If you want to give it a donation, you give it to the Buy Me a Coffee page. Those do come through, so feel free to just let the Lord use you. You feel me? Saying 100 super fans are worth more than 10,000 meth fans. 1,010%. What is up, Steve Worthy? Value for value, 100%. Good to see you, brother. Glad that you're here. Saying, Olo, I didn't know they stopped your income. Yeah, that was like, was it 2018? I think maybe, or something like that. But yeah, they had made the change for the YouTube platform back in the day. I can't think of what the requirements used to be. I don't know. I don't think it was based on a subscriber number or something. I don't think, or maybe it was, because the threshold for a lot of stuff was like 100, 1,000. And like some of that other stuff about even like getting, what is it? Excuse me. Even like getting, I think even like to stream on your phone or something was 100,000 or whatever. So the stuff was wildly different. Like YouTube was trying to figure out their life, but it was okay. And I was like, okay. So the income stopped. Like they held on to whatever you had already accrued at the time. But once you lost the income, you lost it. It is, it was what it was. But you into what you have achieved. Oh, Tony Piper, appreciate you. Bought a coffee. Appreciate that, brother. But yeah. So whatever it is that you had made, they would hold on to it in your account. And then when you made entry into the partner program, whatever you had sitting in your account plus the new stuff, then they released that to you. So that's how that worked back in the day. Seeing lots of ideas of things that I can do, but now I'm stuck on my present situation. So whenever I wanted to do something for my content, my current situation forced me to skip. Sometimes you have to step over those boundaries and barriers of the what's in the way. Sometimes it's a mental block more than a physical barrier. It was a book that they gave us that I never read, but I vibed with the title in college, called I'll Find a Way or Make One. I'll find a way or make one. And sometimes that's what it takes. And sometimes people aren't willing to bet on you if you won't bet on you. If you say, yeah, I would come to work, but I don't have a car. While everybody else catching the bus and they thugging it out, hitting the bricks. He's like, yeah, I would get a job, but I don't have, whatever. So I'll find a way or make one. So sometimes you just got to change your mentality around it. And what's the shortest path to income for you? What's the shortest path to income? Like, not trickling in income, but like, what's $1,000 something that you could do? Pitch somebody. If your skills around selling and stuff like that suck, or conveying your ideas, through what you say or something sucks, work on it. You'll never know if your pitches work if you never try. The only way that I got to work with this man right here is because I took his stuff in his book that I read over and over again. I'm glad that this book has held up as much as it has, but I got 2 copies, one to look pretty and one to be beat up. But I took the stuff that I learned in his book the day I quit my job and sent him an email. And I was already like operating from a state of like, I don't think so. You know, he probably got a team of people. Like, what does he need me for? Blah, blah, blah. It's a little unction on the inside for me, Holy Spirit. I just be like, go just email Uncle Ray. And I'm like, email him for what? He don't need me. Or maybe I'm not good enough, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? I have nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose. Because guess what happens when somebody says no? Nothing changes about your situation. Nothing changes. Emailed him within like hours, 2 hours time or something like that. I'm email, hit send, and I walked away. Went and I'm sitting in the restroom. Email comes in on the phone. Okay, let's give this a shot. And I'm like, huh? Let's do what? Been working together ever since. So sometimes the only barriers that you're having are the ones that mentally are in the way. What's the shortest path to income that you can make? What's something that you can do? What is something that's a pain point for somebody that's easy for you to do? I don't mind so much so the people that are trying to find their way about their social media. What is it? It used to be the thing going around a couple years ago. People's like, I'm a social media something strategist or whatever, and you go to their page and they have like 12 followers. Not that the followers matter, but it's just like you're not doing what you're saying. It's like if I say I'm a video marketing specialist, but I have no videos, I have 1 video on the channel, you ain't even making videos. So you know what I'm saying? It's like I don't knock the hustle, but where is the hustle? You know what I'm saying? It's like I can help you with your social media. Can you? Where's your social media stuff? Can you help me with this stuff? It's like, are you producing what you're talking about? Are you? Because if you ain't, then it's like you can't. It's like somebody saying I could help you with your car. I can fix your car. Can you? Can you fix your car? Like, do you have those skills? Kind of a deal. So, like I said, I don't knock the hustle. Yeah, I had to excuse me because I feel like a twinge in my nose or something. Maybe it's lint. I don't know. Let me check, make sure. Okay, can't be out here looking sideways on the stream. All right, but yeah. But it's like, what can you do or provide value for someone that you know how to do and that somebody else stresses about? Who do you follow that if they're saying, like, I hate cooking every gosh darn day. I'm sick of cooking meals for my kids. Like, I just want to come home from work and blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, can you be a private chef for them and their family? Because you have a personal interest in cooking and you got a skill like that or whatever, pitch them. Saying, I'd love to do a 3-day trial of making exceptionally delicious, healthy meals for your family. I'll fit the bill for any of the food. Just go ahead and if you're open to it, I'd love to, see if this will work for you, or provide meals for you that I can deliver to you. So you go to wherever place and you start, I don't know, delivering your stuff. It's like, okay, give them the meals, ready to go. Try it. It's not, what I'm saying? What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? That's my thoughts anyway. What's up, Migs? Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Saying that's exactly my problem. People always try to lowball. Talk to the wrong people. You talking to the wrong people. So prolific, boom, nice. What's going on? Good to see you, Mari. Glad that you are here. Saying this information is high level as I'm a new creator, but so many great gems. Thank you. My pleasure. Always a pleasure. Brown and Beachy. Saying Lord. So I'm still enjoying my iPhone 11. Preaching to the choir. Preaching to the choir. What's going on, Liv Fuller and Love Fuller? Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Saying glad to catch a live. I'm glad that you're here also. Let's see here. Saying I have a brand new unused camera and mic to sell. Is there a group for YouTube creators to buy and sell trade? Does anyone know? Actually, what you can do, the Ecamm community over on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, they have a buy and sell. It's not in that group, but I can't think of it. If somebody knows the link, then they can probably share it with you. But on Facebook for the Ecamm community, there's a buy and sell group for that specifically. So there actually is some place that you can go for that. Alrighty. Hey, Kombucha, good morning. Top of the morning to you. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Gregarious, good to see you, brother. Glad that you're here. Take a sip of the cuppa. So that's a great idea. Whose house is in this check and I borrow first on screen video? Do what you got to do. Saying stream is so clean, GG. Why, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Alrighty. Much best to build best assets and landing pages on your own. Yep, on domain for SEO and backlinks. I'm glad you made mention that. Business growth ready. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. That's great advice. Great advice. Because honestly, I think about the efficiency stuff sometimes more than the SEO. I hadn't even thought about it, but you're absolutely right. So thanks for bringing and pointing that out. That's a great point. Saying I had to drop off stream for a second. Tom Buck has all the details on the new photo. Yeah, I saw that he dropped the video this morning because he's like, screw the iPhone 13 and something else or whatever. So shout out to Tom Buck. So he's a dope creator. Yeah, I have to check that out. Saying I love this hijacking the comment. Okay, I'm sorry, I missed the point. But does anyone know what the dimensions for banners for Buy Me a Coffee? They have I don't know what it is, but off the top of my head, but they usually have like a little information or that eye with a circle around it, bubble or whatever. And then from there you can go through and, see what the dimensions are. I'm pretty sure it's someplace because I can't remember, but yeah, it's out there. Saying what is the advantage of, let's see here. Hold on. So pause for the pause. Okay, hold on. So you get to this point, you're good on. What happened? Hold on. Okay. My bad, y'all. So yeah, obviously y'all know I get behind the chat or whatever. So my bad, y'all. What is it? I can drop that on my own self. But moderators are in the chat, so we're all good. Alrighty, so let me catch up. So yeah, as far as the, what do you call it? The Buy Me a Coffee thing, I don't know what I don't even think, if I remember what the dimensions are, I'll let you know. But I would like to say that for your home banners and stuff, they usually have, let me see if I can go back to my page. So if you notice over here on Buy Me a Coffee, this is the same, I think it's either, usually for most banners, is either a 1280 by 720. 1280 by 720 is usually what you will see. So that's usually, I'll keep, it's not efficient, but I'll use Canva and something like that. And then I'll try something and then I'll upload it. If I can remember what I put up here, or I'll check back later, or maybe put it like in a community tab or something like that over on the YouTube channel. But what I'll usually do is I will put over here, like I'll just try it. And if it's too small, then I'm like, okay, make it a little bit bigger. And I'll just keep experimenting. But somewhere between 1280 and 720 for most stuff usually works, or it's usually pretty much the same for what YouTube is. So over on Canva, if you go over here, I feel like I got lint or something. So over here on Canva, you can go to, for my designs, actually you can go up here to search and you can do, let's like YouTube banner art or something thereabout. Yeah, YouTube channel art. Usually most stuff will work. And so you see how across any of these different designs, it's pretty much in alignment with, so like this one, I don't even know like what this is or whatever, but usually for this design, this is already fitting within the requirements for YouTube. And so even though it's like hella small, when you upload it, for the most part, it should look like something like this here. So what I'll do is I'll take something like this as an example, change it to your font, your stuff, but kind of keep it within these guidelines. The other thing also, if you're using Canva, is go here and show rulers and then show the guides. That way, if I'm moving something, I can see like, and we also do this in my business. So I don't know if you can probably see that right there. All right. So usually what I'll do is you'll see like it's kind of grayed, but right there at this line, like that's the dimensions or something like that. So I'll make sure it's like, okay, that we're fitting within whatever those dimensions are. So that way, no matter what it is that I'm doing, I can make sure that we stay within like, oh yeah, it needs to be right there at about that halfway mark, and then it'll fit. And then, or at least I'll try it, bring it over here to the Buy Me a Coffee to replace the image. And then, well, shoot, they're telling you right here. You could have saved all that time. So 2560 by 423. So let's say I'm over here in Canva. What did I say? 2560, 423. So we'll go over here to resize, and this is in the pro account. So if you're a teacher, a nonprofit, or somebody else, I think it's like, or a first responder, I think they did for a time. 2560, 423. Okay, let me do this for 2560. So they're close, 423. And then I'll just do, instead of copy and resize, then I'll take whatever that existing design is and resize it. So now we know that that was way too small. Let's go back over yonder, slide this back over. All right. And then, okay, so now you should be seeing a little bit more. Let me get this back together. All right, cool. So now we see this over here. And so I would take this, highlight it all, and just make it larger and to fit. So maybe the words and stuff like that. Line that up right about yonder. Maybe that's fine like that or whatever. And now you're good. So 2560, 423 for the Buy Me a Coffee stuff or whatever. I like to use Canva, obviously, for the reasons that I just showed, because I think it's fantabulous. So do what you got to do to get it done. But yeah, they usually, like I said, usually will give you the dimensions for the stuff like that. All right, so let's catch up to what's going on in the chat. Sando said, one thing I think you really missed is the software you edit videos. I use free DaVinci Resolve, one of the best ones free. I think like what you use as far as the editing software, I personally use Final Cut Pro 10 and switched to that in 2018 from Wondershare Filmora because I just didn't like Adobe and how it operated and stuff like that. Much in how you see how Canva works, that's what I wanted for that. That's what I wanted to see. So I'm like, I don't want to go on the X and Y axis to move something. I just want to grab it, highlight it, whatever, similar kind of stuff, and move it around. I tried DaVinci Resolve back in the day. I think it's a bit of a steep learning curve to make that really, you know what I'm saying, make sense. So for me, I'm just like, probably not. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, for me, yeah, DaVinci Resolve is awesome. I have no qualms about it being amazing. But I think for beginners who more or less is mostly in the community and the audience, you'll grow as a creator. But for me personally, I'm just like, nah, I'm good. All right. So saying what streaming app are you using? This is using Ecamm Live. That's what we use. So any other comments, stuff like that. So your earlier comment, LFH Inspired TV, good to see you. Glad you're here. So that's what I would use here. And then I have the comments over here, Stream Mix up here, stuff like that. So Ecamm is the way to go. As far as the quality, Kombucha got you covered there. A6600 is actually right here. I'm actually using the A6400 to stream. A6400 Sony 35mm f1.8 is what I actually use. Saying, do YouTube creators still get paid for views from people who have the premium? Yes. So it used to be called YouTube Red, but it's not anymore. I think it's just called like YouTube Premium, like you said. But yeah, so what happens is because they're already paying, so I would be one of those people, so you don't have to watch the ads. They're getting that money on the front end. So every month, even if I don't sign in for YouTube and watch anything, they're still getting something. But the creator, the conversions used to be higher. I don't know what that exact number is anymore. Excuse me. I don't know what that exact number is anymore, but the conversion still will be higher. So people that sign into YouTube, that's just watching it on a free YouTube account. They're just getting ads and all that stuff. That's a type of commission. And then to the viewer, you'll see that that is a little bit higher for those that are watching YouTube Premium. So you still do get that bit there. So is this Sony ZV-E10 and 50mm lens for inside room, good lighting, plus a 24 vlog? No. You got your dimensions all wrong, brother. This right here is at a 35mm focal length, and I'm about 4 feet away. So if you're talking about a 50mm, you're going to be even further away. APS-C, which is the sensor size, not to get too into the weeds here tech-wise, but this is an APS-C sensor size, right? See the little square on the inside? That's the APS-C sensor size. For that, you do not want to put a 50mm. I can show you what that would look like on the camera. But I mean, essentially, it's like actual on the lens 50mm. No, just no. You'll hear 50mm talked about because in that 4 foot range on a full frame camera, this is kind of what that would look like. No, you had a crop sensor body. You do not want to do a 50mm even inside. So at best, a 35mm or a 30mm, so something like the Sony 35mm f1.8 or the Sigma 30mm f1.4, then at that point you have, in most even small bedrooms, if you're recording in your home or something like that for indoors, or even if you're doing interviews or something, you have about that 3.5 to 4 foot range. But this is the kind of framing that you're talking about dealing with at that. So if you're trying to get from the waist up, you're going even further back, which is why you would want something a little bit wider. 24, you'd probably be okay for like interviews and stuff like that. Obviously prime lenses are best at that point, but not for vlogging, not a 24mm for vlogging. On the lens 24mm, nah. Because at that point, no, just no. I'm not even getting into it, just no. What you do want though is to find your right focal length. 16mm, once you do the 1.5 times crop conversion for it being an APS-C sensor size, now what you're talking about is getting into something that is more equivalent to that 24 on a full frame camera. So if you're watching a creator that uses a full frame camera like the Sony a7C or the Sony a7S Mark III, those are full frame cameras. If they're saying what their focal length is, you need to take into consideration the camera you're talking about, the Sony ZV-E10, this one has a crop. Now, you don't, if they saying 50, you need to be going backwards, 35mm. If they're saying 24, you need to be looking at 16. So if they saying 16mm on a full frame camera, you need to be going back to a 10mm lens on APS-C. So that you got to think about that a little bit backwards when you start looking at the conversion rates for stuff like that. Alrighty, so 14-day trial for Ecamm, dana.link/Ecamm, free trial, 100%. Saying I'm trying to get a camera right now. Saying with the A6400, give me the same quality and look as the A6600. Yeah, this is the A6400. So the A6600 was fantastic when it came out, and it still is one of my favorite cameras because you had a bigger battery, so the Z battery. You also had a headphone port, and you had the IBIS, or that in-body image stabilization, on the sensor. Whereas with the A6400, you had none of those things. You also get 10-bit externally. I know through the A6600, any 4K 30, 120 frames per second, all that good stuff. But quality-wise, quality is going to look the same. You do get the eye autofocus in video, but that's why the ZV-E10 is such a fantastic camera. It has a headphone port. Yeah, you don't have the IBIS, but you get digital. And Truth be told, standard and the IBIS is about the same between the two bodies for a fraction of the price, a little bit over half of a price difference between $13.98, $6.99. You way better off getting a ZVE10, to be honest with you. Yeah, it's a smaller battery or whatever, but I've been using the ZVE10 since it dropped. You get you an AC battery adapter thing like I've talked about on the website. There's a blog post about the best accessories that I recommend for the Sony ZVE10 with some other new stuff that's coming. So that will get updated to some new things that are coming out. But I mean, you can't really go wrong with the ZVE10 right now. And it has eye autofocus, product showcase mode, a lot of stuff. If you want to check out the quality of what's possible on the ZVE10, last week's Friday live stream showed that. So you can check that out. Saying, okay, good night to all. And as always, it's my pleasure talking to you as well. Have a good evening. Thanks for coming to the stream. I know it's evening where you are, so take care. Saying thanks, Diana. My pleasure. So you have a question, put the Q out there. 100% definitely helps. Did you document the process for creating a course? I would love to see that. Also, what software do you recommend for course creation? I use this one right here. This is what I use. I am documenting the process for the course creation, but I'm not giving like the full breakdown because, to be honest with you, for a lot of what I'm doing, I need to not talk and I need to think. And you would think it would be fine to let the camera sit up, at least do a time lapse or something like that. I'm capturing a lot of content to bring that process and show you some of what's going on. But for some of that stuff, it's just like I need my head down and I need to focus and like for real focus. And so for me to do that, I don't need to be thinking about explaining the process because that doubles my time for trying to figure stuff out of what I need, what makes sense, or all the stuff. So you will see it, but you won't get like an exhaustive explanation of every little thing about it, but you definitely will see it, including footage from like yesterday, the day one, all the stuff that went extremely well and some of the stuff that started to go wrong. And it's just like, what the hell? Then just like stuff to figure out, you know, the team meetings and stuff like that. I don't make it like I don't show like everything of the team meeting, whatever snippets and stuff like that. But the Being a Creator series will, you know, still show you that process. But a lot of that, to be honest with you, I just had to put my head down and just like get it, like just do it. Like I need to record. I need to not think about, you know, another camera or whatever. I just like, so some of that I needed my head down. But the reason why I'm showing you screen share, what I use though for recording that is here. So for example, when I want to do the intro, let me pause the stream music real quick. So this is the intro that we'll have here. And we'll see on the Rodecaster Pro, like you're not hearing anything right now, but there is a timer. So after so many seconds, it goes away. So if I was to, I have a keyboard shortcut set up right now. So trying to think. Yeah, okay. So I'm trying to make sure, because at the end, when I end a training, the stream ends. So I'm trying to make sure I don't hit those buttons. But the keyboard shortcuts I set up is to make sure that I can just sit down and crank content for the training videos. And I didn't want to have to think about a bunch of other stuff. So I set up keyboard shortcuts. So let me stop the stream mix altogether. All right. And then let me make sure, am I just me? I can unmute that there. All right. So no matter what stream I'm in or where I'm starting from or whatever, if we started the training to start off with, I have the music even built in here in the thing. So like the intro songs, the outro songs and stuff like that. So when the training starts, I can do all that stuff in Ecamm. I don't have to use anything else. So this is how I would start. So this is the music or whatever, and I'll be talking, kind of bring in, and then it transitions over to me. We start getting into the training. Any stuff that I need to think ahead of time. I'm only building out scenes based on what I'm using. So it's very simple. So when I press my keyboard shortcut, we go to the intro, music starts playing. It's like, all right, welcome back to session number 7. We're getting ready to dive into some of the metrics, and like I'm already rolling when it cuts over. So we can start going. If there's a screen share or something, then we got all the stuff of what we need, plus the screen share, we cut back over here. It's like, okay, so let's talk about building the Buy Me a Coffee page. In order to do that, you need your blog, we just start diving in. I'm not going to hit the outro screen thing or portion of that, but I built a folder in Ecamm, so I don't have to, like, when I knew, I'm like, we should do a live stream. Like, we, 11 episodes or so in for the not Buy Me a Coffee, but the Being a Creator thing. I'm like, we should for this series, we should do a live stream. I said, I think that'd be cool. Schedule a live stream, but when I'm done and I want to go to recording or redoing a training video, then I can sit down, hit my keyboard shortcut, and I'm good to go. Or switch back to the stream mix, drop that down so it's not blaring. We're good to go. So that's what I use. And I use Ecamm, and then I use for my course website, I use Kajabi. So dyna.link/Kajabi if you want to check out a 30-day free trial for that. What is going on, brother? I'm surprised that you woke out here in these streets. It's early. Shout out to Dr. Rock, rocking it over at the Leap in the live stream last week, 100%. So what's your take on the Panasonic G95? Is it as good as okay, yeah, y'all see the question. So, because my brain is already like answered the question. No. Panasonic G95, I love the Panasonic cameras, to be honest with you. I love what Panasonic does in the video space, but the G95 is a firmware updated G85, which I had the G85, and Panasonic can't focus. Let's just be honest. Panasonic cameras cannot focus. I thought like the little bit of a pulse in the background, I thought maybe when it acquired focus or something, that's all that it would do. And I'm like, that's not that bad. Use the G85. Love the G85. Fantastic camera. Unlimited recording. It did the 4K. It is a micro four thirds sensor, so you do have to account for that 2x crop. But at the same time, I'm like, I can work with it. To be honest with you, it's not that it's so bad, but the focus is terrible. Like, as far as bad as in features, but the focus is terrible. The battery life is great. The focus is still terrible. The quality in Panasonic cameras are great. The focus is still terrible. So unless you plan to be on that manual focus game, no. A6600, even the A6400, in my opinion, is miles better because you have log profiles built in. You have multiple log profiles built in. You also have on the A6600 a headphone port or whatever, but you also are looking at Panasonic. They do have the best stabilization in the game, them and Olympus cameras. But when you start looking into other stuff, it's like everything falls apart, in my opinion, unless you're going to be behind the camera doing manual focus. It's just a no. It is an absolute no with a 100% no on the G95. You'd be well served getting a GH5 original, in my opinion, if you're going to go Panasonic route. But you're looking at comparing the two differences. It's just miles difference, in my opinion. And if you're getting started, you need autofocus. You need autofocus, period. Unless you get into filmmaking and all that stuff, which is usually not the audience over here, you need it, period, point blank. End of story, in my opinion. So if I'm going to use a camera, do I need two Camlink capture cards? If you are going to connect them up via HDMI, and then you'll hear the conversation about getting an ATEM Mini or whatever. If you use Ecamm, more or less, you don't need the ATEM. You need to for real have a systemized content flow, some other something of how you are doing your shows and your content as a whole to make the ATEM Mini purchase, in my opinion, make sense. Because most people say, yeah, but if you need 2 or 4 cameras, then use the ATEM Mini. It's not worth it, in my opinion, just for a camera switcher, because I've done multiple camera setups going into Ecamm. And the other thing is that when I'm doing the multiple camera setups over here in Ecamm, like up here, you see the one camera because I just only have the one connected today. But if I plugged up the ZV-1, A66, and the ZV-E10, plus the guest one, you'll see all those cameras up here. If I plugged in my phone, you'll see all those different camera sources. I can assign a specific camera source to any of these individual scenes for different things. But when you're using an ATEM Mini, for example, you only have the one camera source. So you can have 4 cameras hooked up, but you still only have the one. And Ecamm can't control the ATEM Mini like that to say, go to camera 3, 4, or whatever. So you constantly are switching. Some of that stuff, I think the technology is good in the right use case. But if you're talking about a stream kind of a deal, then in my opinion, just because you can do the switching natively in Ecamm already, it becomes a waste. Not only like a waste of your desk real estate for what you're doing, but also just because you can't assign, like if I wanted to say camera 3 be at scene number 3 when I'm going through my stuff in Ecamm, I can't do that with a ATEM mini kind of switcher. I have to physically switch. I'll go to scene number 3, but I'm also needing to switch also to scene number 3 on this physical thing. It just becomes a waste in my opinion. I'd rather get the cam links and go that route with that, so I can assign different cameras. And as long as you got the right cabling, stuff like that or whatever, make sure you're not using, super cheap cables that can't handle the data processing or slowing down what you need and stuff like that, you're fine. I use the CalDigit, I think it's called the T3. And blind guy, his wife, their life brought me here. Happy to be here. Wow, we are glad that you're here as well, my Vivid Life. Shout out to you. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Question: is that buy me a coffee overlay triggered when somebody buys a coffee? It's supposed to be. I didn't see it. I saw one today, but I didn't see the other one. So I haven't refreshed it in so long. So it probably needs to be refreshed. But you can make it available, like visible or whatever in Ecamm. But as far as when somebody does it, it should trigger, but it hasn't been doing so well today for me, at least. So I will find a way or make one was my elementary school motto. So glad I learned that as a 5-year-old, 100%. All right. What's going on, Mulane TV? Good to see you. Glad that you're here. And then let's see here. Okay. See the spam bots made their way in. So good morning. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Let's see here. Okay. Catching up. Okie dokie. Still catching up on the comments. Okie dokie. And the crypto people are here. So good morning. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Alrighty. And just moving right on along. It's all engagement as far as YouTube. So YouTube will be happy to show the high concurrence rate. Oh boy. They had a time, so I apologize to the chat. Moderators had a job to do this morning. Okay. Ooh wee. Saying everyone's message is getting deleted. All these weirdo people showed up today. It is what it is. Saying kombucha, y'all had to clock in today. Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do. Saying sometimes being behind in the chat is a good thing. You got hit by a swarm of trolls. It is what it is. It's part of the process of being live, doing the stream. It is what it is. When you look like this, expect even more. I can't think whose commercial tagline it is. It was like, expect more. It just is what it is. But here's the thing. Some of y'all would freak out even if you didn't have moderators. But here's what I'll tell you. Turn this into a teachable moment. If you ever get where you do have issues, you don't have channel moderators, or maybe you're just starting to stream, that kind of a stuff can be a reason why people don't want to. And it's like, see, that's why anyone, it's like, calm down. What you can do is when you go to YouTube and you go to your channel, I'll pull this up so I can show you. This is what I used to do just to make sure, because it would be no different. Your day 1 to your day 1000 of streaming, it's the same. So what happens is, let's do this. When you go over here to the stream and you click on this, let me try to pause for the cause. In 3.32 seconds. Is when you go to YouTube, okay, and you go pause. So if you go over here to pop out the chat, you now can bring this over here. So here's what I will do. Let's say you weren't using Ecamm, or even if you were, and you're trying to manage your own thing. So now let's go over here to Ecamm. So even when you're doing your own stream, for example, like my windows and stuff is in the way. But let's say you want to have your chat window over here. This is what I used to do when I was just starting streaming or whatever. prior to having moderators and stuff like that. So whether you're new or whatever, you change this up here to live chat. So as the chat is coming in, you can see the what's going on or whatever. So when you're doing your thing, if you needed to, and go up here, because I'm sure all this stuff is gone already, but so like all of this, it'll show like this person was deleted, blah, 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 kind of a deal. Then you would go over here, let's say, I'm not going to delete .rock, but you hit the dot. You can put user in timeout, report, pin message, or remove, or whatever, or remove them as moderator if they suck at their job, but they don't. But you don't. So that's what you can do for that when it comes to like your streams. If you need to manage your chat or whatever yourself, if you're just getting started, is really not. I mean, yeah, it's distracting for like a moment or whatever, but it's like I'm just saying, if you ain't been called worse by a bigger person in life, then have you really lived? You know what I'm saying? So I can get rid of that because we don't need that. But yeah, that's all you have to do as far as that. So even if you don't have moderators or whatever, or if you do start getting regular people that show up for your stream, just like, who wants to be a moderator? That's all I did when I initially, I'm like, yeah, we're starting to get more people on the stream, but we also starting to get different weirdos that'll show up from time to time. If you're available to be a moderator, if you plan to show up to the stream regularly, let me know. I'll add you as a moderator. People are like, yeah, I'll do it. And so even as the community grows and who comes in or out or whatever, just about usually there will be somebody that's in the stream that can help with the whatever. And if you don't have moderators, or if you're just getting started, it's literally all it takes. Or have your phone available with it on mute or something like that. But it's like, don't stop what you're doing just because you have a temporary distraction. It's temporary. It's okay. So, all right, let me try to catch up to some of the other stuff. Alrighty, so green light coming through Kombucha. Shout out to Kombucha making you use that mouse today. So I have an entire Suns creators kit to sell too. I'll find that group. Yep. So if you need to find the buy and sell or traders group or whatever within the Ecamm community thing, usually if you just use the search in the Facebook group, it's over there. So saying if you're a teacher, I would hope you read instruction. 100%. See, I'm making one now. That's what I'm talking about. Getting it done. What is going on, Betty? Good to see you. Glad that you are here. And then Doc Rock coming in here with the value YouTube share some of its premium revenue with creators, whatever the portion may be, the platform distributes. So Doc Rock answering that question as well. And then that creative girl saying DaVinci is hard unless you already know how to edit videos. It was a learning curve for me and have been editing for a while. So yeah, it's just, and I think too, it's like, for me, I tried all of them. DaVinci, was using Filmora. I came from Camtasia, which I hated. And I think I probably used them for less than 6 months or whatever. I'm like, this sucks. It looks like, and it just didn't, whatever. It just, no. I was like, it sucked for me. So came from there. And granted, the one I used from 5-6 years ago, maybe not the way it is today, but that was my opinion back then. And I haven't even rechecked them to see whatever. I'm like, yeah, I want something better. Everybody's talking about Adobe Premiere Pro, but I don't really like the way that works. I don't care how great it is. I'm like, I just don't like it. I don't like the way it works. It just sucks in my opinion. Okay. I'm looking at what else is available. DaVinci was available. It's for free. If you don't have a strong enough computer, also, when you get into video editing, that stuff matters too. And so now I'm looking like, okay, what now? I'm like, I get a Mac, use Final Cut Pro, because that's what I really want to use. And I like the way it works. It's very reminiscent of Filmora in a way and how some of the basic stuff works, but I'm like, it can be as simple as I need it to be, and it can be as complex as I need it to be. And I saw feature films edited in Final Cut Pro. So I was like, okay, cool. It's doable. And the only question I had was like, what about any plugins and stuff like that? Is that still available? Or is it like how Camtasia was at the time, where you didn't find any kind of plugins or whatever? You waited for an update every year, and then you needed to repay to access the firmware update that will be once per year. And I'm like, this blows. So what I decided to do was just buy a Mac so I could use Ecamm Live, because that was something else that I wanted that was Mac only. And I went to Final Cut Pro. It's been the best decision business-wise and creatively. That's worked for me. because it also replaced other programs. So for me, I didn't just think about the one-off program that I would need for video editing and stuff, but as a whole, do a lot of screen share type stuff. I would have to use whatever random plugins kind of stuff you'd find like in a Chrome browser store and some other things. So creatively, again, back to initially what we started with, your workflow process, I'm like, what are all the tools and the things that I'm using? Which ones could be better if I used X? What kind of computer specs and stuff do I need to run all of this stuff? And then I'm like, okay, everything points back to go get a Mac. Even if I chose not to use that as my primary computer, it makes sense creatively for the goals that I had and everything to just do that. So I went and bought a Mac. And that's how I ran a PC for my regular stuff and just me using a computer in general. And then I had a Mac for, live streaming and for editing videos for Final Cut Pro. Then I'm like, oh, you know what? I actually don't need that other program. So I can get rid of subscription because it's already baked in for a Mac. I don't need anything for screen record. It's already baked in. And a lot of free, amazing programs and stuff, or very minimal cost programs, is Mac only kind of a stuff. It just worked better for me creatively. Everybody's different. Whatever floats your boat defines your lost remote, but that's how it was for me. Actually get to this point, you're great on comments. Okay, cool. Appreciate y'all. Saying walking and talking were hard until you learn how. Don't limit yourself with that hard talk. 100%. Saying DaVinci Resolve is super powerful, and it's a great way I'm experimenting with recording is live to break that habit. Whatever floats your boat or finds your lost remote. Saying question, do you use Ecamm to record your uploaded video content? Yep. Anytime you see this frame, Ecamm. Even recently with the stream that I did last week, and you saw it look a little bit different. You probably see the curtain and stuff like that. That was on the ZV-E10, and it was also still using Ecamm. If I'm sitting back there, then it will be on, it will be on a tripod, and then that's recorded in camera. But it just works. It just freaking works. So another thing that is like other stuff people ask like about the course recording, there's efficiencies and stuff that because we're moving forward with what is going on. Lint. Excuse me. I'm like, Lint, shoot. Okay. But I'm like, in our team meeting, I'm like, okay, here's the plan moving forward, product services wise. Here's what we're doing. Here's what we're currently offering. Here's what we're changing, blah, blah, blah. Right. And I'm like, every time you develop something new or you're creating something new, you have to figure out something else. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to figure out what you're going to do. So for me, I'm like, okay, well, what systems are we going to build? What do I need? And 9 times out of 10, it's an Ecamm related thing. For the standard operating procedure and training videos that we create in my company, we use Ecamm. Training tutorial videos and courses content, we use Ecamm. My podcast, Ecamm. Like I don't lose using it at all. Live streams, Ecamm. Micro content that's recorded here, Ecamm. I kid you not, it is Ecamm. 9 times out of 10 is Ecamm. Very few am I not using it. So I use it for almost everything, honestly. Saying good day, y'all. Thank you for sharing so many gems every video. My pleasure. That Backyard Life. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Glad that you're here. Saying, are you going to implement Prezi sites? No. I like Prezi for what they are and do. And for those of you that don't know, Prezi allows for, they were actually one of the sponsors for, what do you call it? Leap in the live stream. I like what they do. For me and my brand and what I do, it just is not, I've not find a good use for them. For some of y'all, that may be. So I'll show you what Prezi is. And so, like, you can bring up the animations as if it's a recorded video. The only problem is some things, it's like I don't know what it is. It's, or how to really describe this to you. There are some things that needs to be taken out as an editor. I edit video content understanding how I'm doing that with a marketing intent. There are some things that are okay when it comes to live presentation content. As a marketer, it's not okay sometimes for that stuff to be live, in my opinion. It does not do its best job as far as conversion for content. So for me, I personally would be doing a disservice if I did and tried to do some stuff live, because things happen when you're live. So I'll do as much as I can as far as recorded content. And I love all of what they have built in. Like, you literally can have all of this stuff for what you're trying to do, for your content, as far as that stuff coming in or whatever. But if I'm trying to describe something or whatever, I don't want to be doing some of that editing stuff in real time, like moving stuff around and all. I don't want to be like, I just don't. And it's what it amounts to in editing is you're taking out irrelevant bits. And there are times when I'm doing a training, I may say something and plan to say something in the midst of me recording that content. And then when I take it to editing and I'm going through my clarity framework and I'm breaking this thing down, there may be 3 minutes worth of stuff that I take out. I'm just not going, it does not best serve the overall end result goal for the marketing intent of what we're doing. So if you're doing a live presentation, I think it'd be dope, absolutely dope to have elements like this. And I think it looks great. Personally, for me, it just is not my cup of tea. And how I also edit videos and stuff too. So I know what I want my brand to look like and stuff like that. And just for some things, it just wouldn't best suit. But I think for some of y'all, it would be fantastic. Just for me personally, and some of the stuff that I'm doing, I've not found a use for it yet, personally. Is Ecamm free? No, you can get a free trial, but Ecamm is not free. There's an investment required for doing that. They have a standard and a pro account. And so once you go through the free trial, I would say don't just like get the free trial and then try to use it. Get the free trial with an intent of like, do a show within a week. Within the week, do a free show, because you won't know fully how to use something until you really use it. So no, Ecamm is not free, and I'm glad that it's not. So yeah, it's an investment required with that. Let's see here. And Doc coming in. It's only 2 hours late to the live stream. I really am on suspended time. Well, I won't say that we haven't been here for a while, much longer than I intended, but you know, hey, saying, wait, don't delete me. I'm not gonna do you like I did Migs the other week. Saying, yeah, it's amazing edit controller for the cut page I got free with my DaVinci Resolve Pro license. Yeah, okay, cool. Do you have an active filter going during the live stream? It seems like your colors are vibrant. No, this is straight out of the camera. Standard profile on the Sony a6400. So let's go here. And so now you see what I see. And so this, let me take this off the screen real quick. This is not a filter. It's no filter. This is standard. You can see all the settings on the screen, and you see over in the bottom left over here, picture profile off. So you're not using any log profiles. This is standard. And you see like standard profile is right there. So most people saying, Sony, Canon, Connor would have been. Calm down. You don't deserve the right to talk about color science if you don't know how to color grade. But most people's problems with their coloring in their cameras is usually a white balance issue. I'll admit the older Sony cameras, A65, 63, 6000 series cameras, it's a lot of the same functionality, more or less. They had some stuff that needed to be changed or adjusted. And it did have a greenish tint to it or whatever, even in their standard profile or whatever. They've since corrected all of that stuff now at this point some years ago. So, and personally, when I compared my, at the time, my Canon M50 Mark I versus the Sony a6400, I personally preferred the way the Sony looked. Now, yeah, I would do like I would call my golden look, where it's a very tungsten type look, but this is just straight out of camera. Straight out of camera. No specifics on the thing. No LUTs, no none of that. So this is specifically in the A6400. All right. Hashtag clean HDMI. Switch to DaVinci Resolve because Premiere Pro performance encoding is just awful. I can't speak to either, so at present day anyway. But I like what they are providing. We always need good competition. What's going on, Camera Junkie? Good to see you. Glad that you are here. Need to get ready for your stream in an hour. So it's coffee and a beard washing time. Docking his little beard brush that he has there. Saying, what remote are you using with your camera? This is the Sony. It's like it'll say RMT DSLR number 2. This is only for A6400, A6600, and some other ones. It's different models or whatever. But you must have the infrared thing. So if you go Reichen Hanchen, this side, you see that right there? That's the infrared remote signal when you're using the A6600 specifically. Only the A of cameras that I have, A6400 and the A6600 here, have that. Otherwise, nah, not gonna happen. ZV-E10, I wish I could use this remote, but you got to do Bluetooth. So yeah, that's the thing. Alrighty. Saying them. I knew I was gonna get a rile out of Doc. Them. The color science is bad. Me. What's a vector scope? Them. Vector what? Me. People slap them and say, shut up and mind your business. That's about an accurate representation of what actually happens. I was put a link in the chat to the Sony DSLR. It's called a DSLR remote just because they're older. Cameras used to have it, but let's see, Sony, what did I just say? RT, Sony, I tell you one thing, I love you guys for what you offer, but my goodness, y'all need to figure something out with the names of stuff. Just like the Bluetooth remote, you notice how everybody just say the Sony Bluetooth remote? Y'all want to call that thing the XYZ-3 factor, you know, carry the one with the, it's just, everybody hated science. And y'all just making us stick with it. It sucks. This is the remote over here. So there are some third-party knockoff ones or whatever. I just went ahead and got the Sony branded one. I mean, you spend more than that on a 2 for $20 at Applebee's. So with a good tip. So I'll throw a link to that over in the chat if you guys want to pick one of those up. But they're very cost effective. If you have a camera, it says the A9, A6400, A7R III, A7 III, A7R Mark II, A7S Mark II, A7S Mark II, and A7S Mark II. Apparently, they just doing all the variations of that. A7R, A7S, A7, A65, 63, 60,000, and NEX7, 6, 899, and 1,000 other cameras. But not the ZV-E10 because there is no infrared remote on there. So it sucks. All right, y'all. We've done a lot as far as content is concerned. It's been a wonderful day. It's been a wonderful day. I've had a fantastic time spending some time with y'all. We definitely, as always, went over. There's no such thing apparently as a quick live stream, but I wanted to make sure that the Being a Creator series had its own dedicated live stream after 11 iterations of the show. The vlog series will continue. You will see more of the Being a Creator series here available on YouTube, and you can get every week that current Being a Creator guide. Go to thecreator.guide to get access to that. Whether you like watching this live or on the replay, if you have questions, you can drop those for the replay crew. You can drop that in the comment section down below. With that, guys, live with passion. I'll see you over on the next video here on the channel. Peace out, y'all.